Charlie 5, on the exposure. Fire's on the Alpha side.
We got fire right here.
Okay, you got the door open?
Yeah, let's go ahead and try to pump it. Let's try to get a little hit with the extinguisher, okay?
Main door, Charlie side.
I'm gonna have you hit that. I'm gonna hit the radio. Command 2416. We've located and confined the fire to the Alpha Delta corner.
Live fire training is by far the best way for a firefighter to be introduced to the enemy, to watch it grow and take on a life of its own. Even though you're in a controlled environment, things can and do go wrong. After all, we are playing with fire. A few years ago, in what was planned as a training burn, my partner Jim Cottrell and I filmed what easily could have become a disaster. Even though a protective hose line had been positioned, we knew that the main attack line was only flowing about 100 gallons per minute, about enough to handle a trash or small dumpster fire. It didn't take an Einstein to figure out that this baby would take off, and take off fast. We filmed the ignition team lighting the fire, and within moments, flames began rolling over the heavily timbered ceiling. It got real hot, real fast, and a few firefighters escaped through the main stairway. At this point, it had only been 15 seconds since the fire had been lit, but staying in place wasn't an option, so Jim and I bailed out a second-floor window. That's me coming down the ladder. From our fixed camera position, you can see that heavy smoke is already blowing out the second-floor windows. But what we didn't know was that someone had used gasoline as an accelerant for this training blaze. And that's the biggest no-no in the firefighter training business. Jim and I had assumed that the inside team had escaped through the main stairwell. But shortly after we reached the ground, we saw a lone firefighter come out of the same window that we had just exited. We couldn't believe our eyes. The firefighter on the roof was veteran Anna Marsh, who had been working to prepare the fire room. Anna knew there were other firefighters still inside, and she fished for them by pulling in the hose line, only to find an unopened nozzle. As she stood there in the window, Anna experienced a thermal bath of temperatures reaching 800 degrees. But she stayed there, unwilling to abandon the other two firefighters. At that point, I knew that Marsh had little time to escape. Flashover was imminent. I shouted through my mask to warn Marsh of the danger, but the heat and smoke had damaged the face piece of her breathing mask, and she had become totally disoriented. Finally, listening to instructions from a safety officer, Anna was able to feel her way to an escape ladder and make her way to safety just as the room flashed over with violent force. I'm still not sure what really happened, but there was no way that a single hose line would have ever dampened that blaze. Anna and her crew were lucky to get out alive. I was with Anna on the fire ground immediately afterwards. What I saw was a charred set of turnout gear and a brave grandmother who had just escaped death. She'll always have my utmost respect because she exemplifies what every firefighter strives for: courage and bravery, and most of all love. Love of her chosen career and love of her fellow firefighters.